Okay, this is the right one.
I see the right. Yeah, I see it now.
Because the other one was like a combination of my cell and my house.
Okay, you should be calling the right number this time instead of calling the wrong people. Those people are so bad. That's kind of funny, actually. Okay, good. Now I know it works. So I'll mute myself so you
Well,
don't hear like duplicates of us and.
oh, okay, good.
That's okay because I had it in there and I thought I wrote it down correctly, and I guess I didn't because I'm like I was rushing to get back because today is just like it's raining and it's just the weather has been so warm up until these last 2 weeks and now it's foggy and raining and snowing. It's like it finally decided to be winter, but it's almost March. Ooh. Is that typical for Scotland? Do they usually get that much snow this time of year? Huh, interesting. Now, we usually used to get a lot of snow up in the mountains. I mean, that's why they had all the snow plows. It used to be very inclement weather days. But it's finally snowing a little bit, but not quite like what I remember when I was a kid. Like, it could be several feet. Well, it was a lot more than now, but and now they're finally getting rain and snow. But anyway, so how are things going? I like all your artwork, by the way. This is all kind of artwork from your various books, right? Mm-hmm. I like that though. I like that you can see the flag and the blackboard. I miss blackboards, by the way, because a lot of kids they don't even know what a blackboard is nowadays because they all have those wider race boards. That's awesome. I really miss like, I mean, I don't know. I know this is so random, but like just the sound of the chalk, like all those different things that tactile things about a classroom that I feel like just kind of went away with the whiteboards. So, what are the other artworks that you have in the back behind you? I can see it. I remember that one. I like that one actually. And you can see more of the top actually, right? In this painting than on the book. It seems like you can see a little bit higher up. Like I don't usually remember seeing the rope, that much of the rope on the. I'm sorry, I don't want to make you do that. hmm Oh, nice to know. That's good to know. So, what's the one in the frame, like right behind you? What's that one? I've seen it before, but I don't remember. On the wall. Yeah, on the wall. Wow. Huh. I like that. Is it supposed to be in Israel? Because it kind of looks like. I like it. I'm just curious. And I also see your other artwork with deer. That's from, in case there's a, well, with the deer. No, this is more recent, right? The one with the butterfly and the deer. I remember that. Yeah, that was a nice little Christmas card. That's pretty neat. Now, you know what? You might think this is pretty neat, but there's a fox that's been visiting my parents' house every night, and yeah, they give it some food, like, because it's like it doesn't have food, or it might be able to find some, but they just leave some food out for it, and it comes out and it just takes what and it leaves. It's really pretty. Yeah, it's a really beautiful. I saw him one time, but he looked kind of like frightened to me, so he ran away. Yeah, it was like a year ago when I saw him, but I hear he keeps coming by at night. Like in the winter, they see him more. In the summer, he's probably off, more food to eat. But in the wintertime, there's less food to eat, so they put some food out. He's probably finding food in other places. It's interesting. I don't know if he is a wild fox because somebody said there used to be a fox farm nearby, so they're not sure if maybe he was like the descendant of one of those foxes or if he's like a wild fox. They don't know. So it's kind of interesting. I'm not, maybe he's wild, but he doesn't seem wild. He seems like reliant on people. Yeah, that's interesting. But I was just thinking because, with your book, in case there's a fox, and the, I'm gonna try to. He was really timid, like that one time I saw him, and he just ran. But I'm gonna, hopefully next time I can capture a picture of him because it's very beautiful. Like he has like a reddish gray molted coat. It's really like it's very pretty. So, was there anything that you wanted to talk about tonight, like that's going on that you wanted to share? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Huh. Oh, gee. Oh, well, I'm glad it's back so we can live stream, but I didn't realize that I had noticed you were offline a little bit more yesterday, but I thought, well, maybe she's just working on a project or something, but I'm glad your internet's back. Well, I'm gonna watch it. I haven't been home, so I didn't, like, literally, I just got home, so I had kind of an interesting day, just like funny things, like people asking. Well, somebody found some really bad thing today. Like they found this this needle, like injection for drugs, and I had to take it to my manager because they put it in a soda cup, and I had never seen something like that before. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, here you go. It was not, that kind of was not something I wanted to see. I'm sorry. I'm not used to seeing things like that. It kind of scared me a little bit, you know. But so that was interesting. Just, but we told the guy not to pick something like that up. Like, you wouldn't want to pick that up, you know, because you want, yeah. So I told him, I said, yeah, he thought he was helping out, but that's really dangerous. Like, I wouldn't touch that, you know. But, and I don't even know what was in the cup until he just handed it to me. He's like, there's something in there. You have to look. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I took it to my manager and they took care of it. But I would have preferred not to see something like that. So it's just one of those things when you work with the public. Sometimes things like that happen. Not as much here, more out in LA and things like that, but sometimes here. So that happened, and I just have been like kind of surprised about that, and the weather, pretty much, and that's it. Oh, huh. That's interesting. It's kind of random. Oh, wow. Well, I guess like things happen. Stranger things have happened. When we were in elementary school back in the 80s, like they would make it, it'd always be right before a holiday, and our school was getting bomb threats, which was really scary to us because we were so young, we didn't know what that meant. And they made us sit outside like all day long, like the whole day. And a lot of parents were upset, and they thought, well, why didn't they just like call the parents or find a way to call the parents and let them come pick us up? And they made us sit outside that whole day. Like before Thanksgiving, we were supposed to have a party, but we sat outside the whole day. And yeah, I remember that as a kid. Yeah, a lot of parents were really mad later. They're like, because it was a small community, you could have contacted the parents and said, let the kids be picked up and go home. They don't need to sit outside the whole day because of that. So I remember that, but besides that, not many events. When I was in school, it was pretty calm. hmm Oh, those, yeah, those. Um, there was a real earthquake, I remember when I was in school, but I always thought the earthquake drills were pretty. I just wonder, like, when a real earthquake would happen, like, it's not going to be that organized. So I always thought, does the drill really help? I always kind of question that. Like, yeah, it's a good thought behind it, but if there is an earthquake, are they going to carry out the drill that efficiently, And is everybody going to be calm? I've always wondered that. But hmm That's good. It seems like I remember reading that you said it was a pretty earthquake, like efficient building, or had been retrofitted, right? It was. Well, that's comforting. At least you were renting. Uh, but yeah, I always wonder about these drills. So, anything else going on? Because I haven't watched the news. What's any big stories today? Like, has anything happened? Hmm. That's ridiculous. I thought we were like, okay, they were saying that they wanted people under the age of 21 to be able to drink in some areas and like vote. Of course, they vote, but why can't, I mean, I don't understand, like, if it's just for their own, like, in their own life, like, why does it matter? Like, they should be able to buy what they want, right? Yeah, yeah. No, but that's kind of silly because if somebody was responsible, I don't understand why. Okay, I know that there was some debate and some schools were like, well, we don't want weapons on campus. I guess if the school decides that that's their choice, but if somebody's over the age of 18 and they want to own one, I don't see how that impacts, like, just because of one person, I don't get that, but. Yeah, that's it seems like it's kind of punishing everybody else because of one bad person. And I was getting kind of tired of, like, it just seemed like everybody was getting real caught up on that for like 2 weeks, and lots of other news stories have happened. Like, there's so many other things that have happened in the news, but it seems like I I've kind of been following some more obscure news stories. There's one update. 23andMe is going to update their tests so it's more accurate. I was more excited to hear that. So I logged in last night, but they haven't updated it for the new customers. But, like, I guess, like the old customers. But the new ones, they're going to update it for everybody else. So I thought that was interesting. It just seems like there's nothing new to talk about because they keep talking about the same story over and over again. Do you know? Okay. Hmm. Why? Wow. That's pretty. Okay, so what if the ape grew up from the time of infancy around humans? They're gonna just say, oh no, it can't have any contact with humans anymore? Hmm. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I think they do because and what about that case where a child fell into an enclosure in a zoo and one I think it was a chimpanzee like saved the child because it had grown up around humans and was able to save it from the other chimpanzees. So you can't label all chimpanzees or all one species. he's sweet. Oh, gee. I hear. Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, right? And what about the dentist? Like, there was a story about this Ukrainian dentist. Her boyfriend broke up with her, and she was really mad at him. And I guess he was kind of naive. He's like, I'm going to go to her as the dentist. And she goes, yeah, sure. She pulled all his teeth out. So you never know, like, with human beings, you don't know. Like, you can't just label everybody by. But it seems like, yeah, there's blanket. So what else was happening with that? Does it seem like that's something that's going to be pushed through with a lot of the sanctuaries, or? Mm-hmm. Um, but why do we want more regulation? It seems like every time things are more regulated, that they just make new rules, and many people don't follow the rules, and then somebody does something bad, and they're like, oh, we have to have another rule or another law. And most people aren't going to do bad things, but it seems like right now they want more laws, more rules, more regulations, because they think it will make us a more virtuous society. But I don't really feel that way anymore. Like, I feel like it's just seems more bureaucratic, maybe dictatorial in a way. I don't know. It's different. Yeah. And with chimpanzees, it seems like some of the people that think what they know is best, they don't even have the experience. So why are they so invested in how others? It's a very. It just seems like, is that what we need to be spending our time on? Does that make any like species better, any society better by micromanaging things? I thought micromanaging was bad, but now it seems like micromanaging is the most important thing. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's all I can equate it to. Like, it seems like the push for bigger government's almost like wanting more micromanaging. Like, you're afraid that people can't just live on their own, and maybe there's some bad people, but we don't need to be overly regulated like a child. I can't buy into all that anymore. Mhm. Mhm. That's true. Or anything. Yeah. By the way, there was another stabbing over the weekend at a library in Boston, is what I heard, and they probably didn't talk about that, but this guy just randomly walked up to someone and stabbed him with a knife. So I guess you could have all the gun legislation you want, but you're not going to prevent somebody from being killed by a crazy person or a mentally ill person or mentally unstable. But yeah, they probably do need more guardianship for people or some sort of place where I know what it was that in the 60s they wanted to take away all the institutions where many of those people stayed, and they thought it was taking their rights away, but a lot of these people end up back in the prison system anyway. So they're no, I know. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, that's true. They wouldn't be able to stop that person, and that's kind of the problem. Maybe they need more conservatorships or some sort of guardians for adults that might be good people, but maybe there's something that would make them kind of snap. We don't know. Yeah, I know what you're saying. And but then even then, like, I feel like, okay, we know certain people will do bad things because they target a group of people in public. But we don't know, like, all the bad things that some people are doing. Still, like, to me, that's another thing, too. Like, we can't just say, oh, like, oh, we're going to ban guns, but they could still find a gun and kill somebody and we wouldn't know about it. Like, we don't know everything people do. Like, we know about the ones that are termed mentally ill and what they do in public. I just feel like, I guess another thing that kind of bothers me too is, doesn't this scare kids if that's all they talk about, like, all day for 2 or 3 weeks, like, all the time? Like, does anything positive ever happen at school if that's all they're ever talking about? I don't know. I would assume so, but it just seems like on Facebook, like, that's all people talk about lately. I don't know, but maybe it's just because I don't look at enough of Facebook. Like, I'll see a few things posted, and that's it. So I'm sure they're still studying in school, but I don't. If I had kids in school right now, it'd be interesting to know. But I don't have kids in school, so I can't say. Okay, that's good. Well, then maybe everything's kind of still as usual, and it's just news stories that people post on social media. So, what else is going on? Anything else with the different current events or just things happening in the world of Facebook? Mm-hmm. Hmm. I hope so, because he seems like a promising candidate. Like, everything I hear him say, he seems pretty, like, he has a lot of good ideas. So I hope that works out for him and for you guys. And maybe if he can win that seat that would give him. Does he plan on running for the presidency again? Is that something that he's talked about? Yeah, true. I guess one thing at a time. But if he puts his time in the Senate, that gives him an opportunity where in a few years maybe he can run for office where he'd have a better chance. Mm-hmm. Well, good. And if he stands for issues that you agree with, I guess it doesn't really matter if he runs as a libertarian or a Republican, right? Are there some people that don't like that he's going to run as a Republican, or? Oh, I see. That. Mm-hmm. Well, what can Austin do to counteract that? I think that there's a lot of people that listen to him, like on his show. He probably does. He still do that little show on YouTube? That I think that's a good platform, and some other ways just to reach out to more younger voters. Maybe like there's got to be some. Hopefully, it works out for him. I guess that's all I'm gonna hope. Good, good. Well, that's kind of exciting. So when is the race in November then for that seat coming up? Oh, wow. Do you think that'll be a good thing since he seems to be rubbing people the wrong way, or so he's like pretty entrenched in there right now? Wow, okay, that's kind of a problem. Okay, right there, I'm like, does he live in reality? Like, for example, like, just from looking at genealogy, a lot of people end up having kids that they adopt, or they keep a child because I mean, they don't plan on having, like, wow. He doesn't think, does he? But I guess people stand up for him, so whatever, he's gonna be fine. Mm hmm. What? Oh, yeah, that works because you can schedule that, you know. Yeah, that yeah, because he gee. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. Wow. Well, anyway, well, at least it's exciting that there's another, more libertarians and Austin's running and all that's coming up. So that's good. Anything else going on? I guess I'm just trying to think of like Anything new? Like, well, with your book, like, have you done any new promotions or anything? That would be kind of exciting, like a little local access channel. Is that what he's thinking of, or? Hmm, that's interesting. That would be kind of exciting. So, um, have you had any new reviews or anything with some of your books lately? Because I thought you talked about a couple weeks ago about one. Nice. And I still want to finish reading that one book. You have that book called F. I need to finish reading it. Like, I started reading it and then I just need to finish. That's a very interesting book, though. It seems kind of science fiction-y as well. So, mm-hmm. Well, I started reading up to the point where she has. Well, I don't want to give it away, but where she's looking for other options besides what the school's telling her she has to do, which is kind of interesting because that's kind of a parallel for some of the things that are happening today, right? Is that? Oh yeah, yeah. I liked that one. Mhm. Mhm. I remember that, where it was mandatory, right? No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be outlawed because I know some people do it for religious reasons or hygienic. A lot of kids in the U.S. are circumcised. I don't even know anything about it. When my sister had a baby, I actually paid for him to be circumcised, which is a really strange gift, right? But when she was a young mom, and that's actually, I paid like $160 or something because she was really young at the time, and it was kind of like a gift for her because I couldn't think of what to get her. I know that sounds weird, right? But I just thought that would help her out, because she's a young mom. Yeah, so that, yeah, I got him other things too, but that's just when she was a young mom. She was 18, so she didn't have insurance. So I thought, well, I'll pay for that and I'll help her out because I had a job in college and I thought I could give her the money to do that. So yeah, and we weren't like we didn't do it for religious reasons. It's just like a hygienic thing that the doctor recommended for the kids. So I don't know why it's a problem. It wasn't mandatory or anything. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I don't know how that works, but that's just what they told her, I guess. Oh. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. At the time, I didn't know much about it. It just was something that she was told that she needed to do. But I don't think anybody should be told that they have to do it. And if they want to do it, then they should have that option, I suppose. It doesn't really matter to me either way. But yeah, it's kind of silly to make someone do something or tell someone they have, either way, mandatory or like forbidden. Those are both other. Mhm. Yeah, like it should be a personal choice, I think. Like, I always thought that that sort of thing was. It doesn't need to maybe be as politicized as it is. I think sometimes it's overly. Like, these things, it seems like everything's political nowadays. Even if you just do like the old school thing where, I don't know, this is just how people in the Midwest, where my mom grew up, they were told like you shouldn't talk about politics at dinner, or if you're in the entertainment business or things like that, like to be polite. But it seems like now, like if you're a celebrity and you're not taking a political stance, like you're a bad person, or they assume what your politics are, even if maybe you're not political. It's interesting. Like, I don't know how that works, but mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but you're like a classical libertarian. It's about freedom, right? Not about. No, definitely not. See, that's the thing. Like, for years I thought, oh, like I'm so liberal, I'm very left leaning, but I don't know how I feel about any of that anymore. I just feel like I'm kind of tired of it, and I just want to be myself, and I don't want people to tell me what to do or to tell others what to do. Yeah, I just, a lot of virtuosity. Like, I don't like it when conservatives do it. Why would I like it when a liberal does it? Why is it good when either? I don't know. I don't like it when either side does it. Like, how does it make it better when one side does it over the other? I don't like either, but that's just my take. Yeah, that sounds like a good opportunity because there's certain themes in there that tie in. And what about, I logged into Hub Pages the other day and I was noticing like now they're becoming Maven, and you said like I noticed that they said one hub that did perfectly fine for years, like it's just not appropriate for their website now, but it was very random. They didn't have a reason why. It used to be one of my highest performing hubs, so I need to move that. Oh yeah, I'll start moving some stuff over there. I just feel like it's so much work. Like every time, like they tell me a new thing, I'm like, really? Like I just wanted it to be there and never have to worry about it again. But I should have known like that wasn't gonna be the case, right? Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Oh, gee. That's hilarious. But yeah, I think that happened even years ago, but it's better. I'm just so glad that a few years back I decided to start a blog as opposed to just, and also publishing some things on PubWages. I also think more people should check out PubWages if they want to write there and post there, because it seemed like for a while there were a few people posting a little bit more often. Mhm. 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 Yeah. What? Why? When they were publishing on PubWages and you were helping them out. Yeah, we help each other out. Now that's weird. That's just strange. I don't know. But oh. Yeah, that's strange because I think his service would be considered by some, like, some people don't like those. That's, but you know, even okay, on Facebook they're kind of funny. Like, I guess some people, if they run businesses, they get reprimanded if they promote their business on their own Facebook page, like their just own like Facebook page for the business, and they're told you should buy ads for that. Why would I want to buy? Because I've bought $170 worth of ads through Facebook over 2 years, and all it got me were a lot more likes on my pages about a year after I paid for the ads. All of a sudden, but guess where all these likes are coming from? They're coming from the Philippines. And I don't think anybody, I mean, I think I'm grateful, but I just don't think that's an audience where people are going to be buying many things. Because I'm trying to promote my Zazzle products, and I've never sold anything there. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. So it doesn't really even make any sense. But for some reason, all these people in the Philippines are really interested in all of my art websites and my shirt website, which is great. I'm grateful. But that doesn't really help me. So I bought all these Facebook ads because I thought, well, maybe it would help me promote my websites. But all I did was get likes from places where people aren't going to buy things. So I got a lot of likes, but it didn't really translate into any sales for me personally. Mhm. Yeah. That's very silly, but I have kind of noticed that as well because I liked some pages. I liked some of your pages to do with your books, and I noticed that they don't ever really pop up in my feed that much unless I go there manually to look for it. And that kind of bothers me that I like different pages, and why doesn't it come up in my feed? But then I get lots of those like share around memes. Like, for some reason Facebook thinks that that's what I want to see like all day long. And I don't know what it is, but those memes, I'm just like, I guess everybody else really loves them, but I shouldn't have like this animosity towards a meme. Like, that probably sounds very silly, but it's like the same thing over and over and over again. Like, it'll be a picture with some words and people just post that thing over and over again. But then they get mad at a blogger or like a person that writes a book for sharing something original. Like, I've never really comprehended that. Oh, definitely. Like, and wasn't there one a few years back? It was really strange. Like, it was pumping out all these different things. Like, it didn't really have any rhyme or reason, but they were profiting in some way. It was just a very strange, I can't remember the particular page, but people were sharing a lot of memes. And then another one was just where they were promoting a radio show in Australia. I noticed like people were sharing everything, but if you looked at it, you went to look at like whose page it was. It was from this radio show. Like they were basically just giving free advertising to this radio show. It was kind of funny. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I I guess like I just always liked more original content, and I wanted to like share things that I saw somebody post that I knew they created or that something they believed in. Like I'd rather share that as opposed to just like, oh, that's pretty, but I don't really just want to share random things. But I've had people ask me like, okay, in like the Facebook Messenger just to send like random things to everybody, and why would I want to do that? I don't. It doesn't even have a purpose for me, you know. So I don't know. It's just kind of funny. Okay, that's strange. I don't know. You know, I've been signing out of my Messenger sometimes to check my old Facebook account. Maybe it's getting confused, and when I sign back in, it'll say, "Oh, I'm back." But I don't know why it's notifying people that I do that. That's Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I had Sandra, like from Hub Pages, waved at me on my old Facebook page, and she waved to me, and I waved back. I said, "Oh, I don't really use this page anymore." She goes, "Oh, okay." I didn't know why, and somebody else waved at me too. So that's interesting. Like, why do they? Yeah. Why do they want us to wave at people? Like, what does it do? Like, oh hi, I waved at you. Is that the way so it knows? Oh, that account's logged in. We should start like showing ads to it in Facebook. I heard somebody say that they were showing ads to them or something of that nature. Just interesting. Just different ads for things that they were doing on Facebook. It was interesting. I don't know. Like they'd be typing something and then Facebook would give an ad like for whatever they were talking about. It was kind of like monitoring what they were chatting about, I guess. I feel like I can't see me anymore. Can you still see me? 'Cause I noticed like because people were trying to call me and I don't know why